Ladies, you have joined me on this link because you want to know how to get your man or how to get the guy who you're getting to know to communicate honestly with you. It's like I put a post out there on my Facebook page, and some of the things that were really hard about dating were that communication was always wrong. It was either not consistent enough, it was either, they said one thing and then they changed their mind on who they were later. There's some key things that you're going to need to do and implement in your dating in order to be a more successful dater. How do I know all of this? Is what you're probably asking. Well, one, from dating liars, learning patterns of people who lie, from being a past liar about myself, and meeting someone who had a great heart, great intentions, but still struggle with totally being honest about everything is a reality that many of you face. Look, most people lie about situations that they're in. Most people lie a little bit when it comes to dating. Even you, yes, you don't tell the total truth. So we have to make sure that we go into this with a proper perspective and the facts. In a dating situation, you just have to deal with facts. So I'm gonna be looking down my notes because I really take this serious, and who you marry reflects how the rest of your life will turn out. And if you're dating, I'm assuming that you're dating with the intention to be married. If not, then this video is probably not for you. If you're dating to just have fun or pass the time and you don't desire true commitment long term to one person, then these tips don't matter. So let's start with the first tip that I have come up with. And the tip is to realize that men fear rejection. So as much as you think that they don't care because after he hollered at you and you rolled your eyes, he was like, well, F you too then. You at the club and you ignoring him and you walking out. He's like, well, forget you, and called you all kind of names because rejection hurts. So you have to keep in mind that when you're talking to a man, no matter how fine he is, no matter how much money he has, what he possesses, what his stature is, whether he's a celebrity, he fears rejection. So you have to be in a place where you know what rejection feels like to him, so that he doesn't associate talking to you or your responses to his honesty as rejection. So, for example, you have to accept him for who he is and not for who you want him to be. He might not be where you want him to be yet. So, if you want a guy with a college degree and he's currently in school, rejection is, I only date men who are college educated, or I prefer a man who has a college degree. He is automatically rejected by your comment if you don't know his current situation. So you really have to be careful that you always use phrases that don't breed rejection. Like you can say that I prefer dating a man who understands the importance of education or respects how I view education. So if you think education is important, but he's a self-made millionaire who never went past high school, you haven't automatically rejected him. And you think, well, he's a self-made millionaire, he won't care. It's still rejection. So the second thing you need to do is be vulnerable. You need to tell a story and tell your own stuff. So a lot of times as women, we want men to open up, and they actually want to open up, but they don't want to open up when they feel like you're perfect and it's just him revealing all of his flaws. And telling a story helps men to remember, like it helps them to remember the point you're trying to go across. Here's an example. You could take this example and use it. It's free, it's yours. So I was dating a guy and he did not respond, consistently to my text messages. Like he might text me, I text him back, and then he didn't respond. Like the whole day, maybe the next day. And then finally he responds. One guy who I dated who did that, he ended up being married. So that is a key sign. If they take days to respond, that's a key red flag. But they could just not respect the way it makes you feel when they don't respond. So you have to tell a story and be vulnerable. So this is one story that I told, and after that it completely changed the way that he responded and communicated with me. So I said, Brandon, it really bothers me when you don't respond to my text message, because there was something that I went through several years ago, and like I try not to share this story because I feel so silly when I say it, but like I feel like you could handle the story, so I'm gonna tell you. I had a guy who I was talking to, and I was really feeling him. He was feeling me. I was just like, yeah, I really like this guy. And he texted me good morning, and I texted him, good morning back. How you doing? What time are we going to meet up later today? And he didn't respond. So the next few hours, I said, hey, is everything all good? Did you change your mind? No response. And so like 5 minutes before we were supposed to meet, I text him again. No response. So a couple of days go by, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see if he has Facebook. So I go on Facebook like mad. Like, if I see this dude on Facebook updating his status and he ain't responding to me, I'm going to be pissed. And I go on Facebook, search his name, and I just kept saying, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. And I was like, oh my gosh. He's passed away. And I know this is silly, but whenever I'm talking to a guy and he doesn't respond to me, like just a casual question, my mind automatically goes to rest in peace. And it's like I can't handle that. So like all I ask is that don't let me go back to that place. Like if you're busy or you're like you cool, but I don't see you like that anymore, just tell me, because I don't want to go to that emotional space. Like that's something I still have to heal from. So I just ask that you could honor that, because I don't want to feel awful. I don't want to be worried about you. End scene. That's your story. He's gonna remember that. You have to tell him how awful it feels to be ignored in communication. And if at that point, if he still ignores you, he's not the one. Or at that point, he's going to get so good with his communication, it's going to be like, what? Use the story. It's yours. The rest in peace story. That will show you whether he honors you or whether you need to keep it moving. Third step is let go of the past. You can't punish who you're dating or getting to know for telling the truth, because that's like asking a man if he has ever cheated before, and then if he says no, I never cheated, then you could be like, you lying, you know you cheated once, you too fine, you got too much money, I know you cheated. But then if he says yes, I have cheated, oh, so you a cheater? Once a cheater, always a cheater. Like, don't punish him for telling the truth. You have to let go of whatever past hurt and past pain that you have from prior relationships, or either within that relationship. If he's lied to you in the past, like, you can't punish him for what he's done in the past or punish him for his honest answer now. That's a quick way to make him never tell you the truth again. You're saying, by like, yapping back, you're saying, I can't handle the truth, so lie to me. Yeah. Another thing is to tell a man your standards up front, because they don't want to tell you the truth because they think they're going to hurt you, and they think that the consequences are too big, which are losing you. So you tell a man your standards up front. If you're a believer, like I was when I was dating, and you say, hey, I believe in waiting till marriage to have sex. Like, my future husband, I would want him to be able to understand that that's how I am. But you never know, like, if he's not my husband and we just trying to, have fun, I can handle that too. I just gotta know where we at. So you tell your standard, but you also give permission for there to be a way out. You can't just tell your standard and leave it at that. Like, well, I don't want to date no man who can't wait till marriage to have sex. His response to saying that he can't wait is a consequence that's too big. So he's not going to tell you the truth if he realizes that means he will lose a chance with you. So ladies, we have to remember that you gotta kind of have the it is what it is vibe, and he's got to believe it so that he has permission to tell you what he's really feeling or his real stance. Because when you come off too strong in your standard without giving him a way out, he feels like, I must agree with her. I must lie because lying is easier in this moment. And he will continue that lie until you realize you've been lying just to stay in agreement with you. That's what you naturally do in conversation. Now, of course, there's always an exception to the rule, to the man who's going to be totally honest with you and be totally opposite of what you want. But because he was honest, you try to like, oh, well, at least he was honest. That doesn't make it any better if he's not in line with what you want. But what I'm saying is you have to give him an out, because it is what it is, because he's got to feel comfortable telling you the truth. And without that way out, it's just not going to happen. Another good tip, number 5, is the way that you begin conversations. There should be space in between you, like little space, like he's over there, you're over here. And it makes it less confrontational. A lot of times we want to go on our first date and be like, so are you gonna wait till marriage to have sex with me? And you be all up in their face. Or, so are you a cheater or not? And we're real like in your face. But again, you have to go with what I call the it is what it is vibe. Have some space, have a date at the gym, have a date that's an activity and not a face-to-face where you're going to ask these type of questions. You got to ask it in a no pressure zone. So to get him to communicate honestly, be in a no pressure zone, not too close, not face-to-face, doing an activity that really helps. So you so is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to wait until marriage to have sex? You know, that's different than I ain't dating no man who can't wait for me. I'm hashtag worth the wait. Like, no, that's not attractive. That's not cute. Like, it doesn't matter how cute you are, that will be a turn off. So, ladies, I've given you 5 tips. Let's go through them again. The first one is remembering that men fear rejection and that you have to accept him for where he is and not where you want him to be. Number 2 is tell a story and be vulnerable. When you tell him the story, don't forget the rest in peace story. He will either respect his need to communicate better or he will eliminate himself from your life. Number 3, let go of the past and don't punish him for telling the truth, which means you have to know how to fix your face when he's giving an answer so that you don't tell him with your body language and your reaction, lie to me. Number 4, to hum your standards up front, but you got to give him a way out so that way he has permission to tell you, nah, I can't do that. You got to make him feel like it is what it is, baby. Like, if you just trying to, get it in and just, have fun and see where it goes, it is what it is, I can rock with that. Now, you may not really rock with that, but you got to make him feel like you will rock with that so that he will be honest with you. And the last thing was put some space in between you whenever you're talking and having these conversations. Don't be so confrontational and be face to face. Space it out. Now I want you to try all these things and let me know, has the communication gotten better? And if you need more help, I would love to coach you through your dating situation so we can really work together. Like, I want to see people happy. I want to see people married. I want to see, you have everything that you desire. So if that's you, tell me how it went. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be hard to do at first because it's not natural. But you got this. You could do it. See,